Hi, I'm Chris. Psalms 27:14 says, "Wait on the Lord and be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart." Wait, I say, on the Lord. Now, this is the last verse in Psalms 27. In the midst of it, it kind of parallels where we are in the United States in the midst of our quarantine. David had an enemy. We've got COVID-19. And because of that enemy, he cannot worship where and with and the way that he would ideally want to. He is separated from family and friends. His name has been slandered. Now, your actual name may not have been slandered, but if you're a Republican, Democrat, moderate, libertarian, Tea Party, somebody has misrepresented who you are in the last few months. It's a fact. But David gives us practical advice on multiple levels in the midst of waiting, because see, God likes to show up when all the other resources and avenues that we have been exhausted. He's like, yeah, now that I've got your attention, now that you know nobody can do this but me, I'm going to step in and do what I do. That doesn't mean that we turn to him last. We should always turn to him first. But there is a waiting period. But waiting should not be confused with idleness, because idleness invites temptations that normally wouldn't affect you because you're involved in ministry in some way or fashion. That doesn't mean you have to be at a church, but the things that you do that represent God. So thoughts that normally wouldn't come to you, or if they do, they don't really even register because you're involved in the things of God, because you love God. You want to express that love to people. It's just different. It's just very, very different. So David gives us really good advice. What? We fast, we pray, we stay in the word, we continue to commune with God, the things that are necessary to maintain our relationship. It's not about sitting around. It's about getting involved and staying focused. But know that through our own will, we can encourage ourselves in God to seek God. And that's all he ever wants. Our will is amazingly powerful, and the things that can be accomplished by the strength of our will are numerous. But our will should be channeled or focused in such a way that we are believing nothing more and certainly nothing less than God being involved in our lives. You're going to come in, Lord. You're going to do this because I can't. I can't. And in the midst of those things that are too big for us, God does what only he can. That's for your consideration. Now, a friend of mine the other day came to me, IB, and related that there was turmoil. And I was like, I wasn't particularly moved or blown away by the turmoil itself, because if you minister to people or just talk with people and get to know them, we all pretty much wrestle with the same thing. But what I was moved by was the fact that there was turmoil and I didn't recognize it. But I have to address that. As far as turmoil, Dr. Dobson, who was the founder of Focus on the Family, he retired about over 10 years ago now, and he said it before he retired. That part of the reason we think our problems are so huge, so big, is because we think we're the only one going through them. He talked about the fact that we were very mobile as a society, and that a lot of people were transplanted and they didn't have the depth of relationship that they might have in the past. So we don't communicate. We have cell phones, we've got FaceTime, we've got all these things that will keep us connected, but we choose not to. That's another sermon or another time to talk. But when we are connected and when we do have a support system, we recognize that we're pretty much all going through the same thing, and that God deals with his children a specific way. In order to get us through that, he will comfort us, he will keep us, he will strengthen our heart through anything, but our heart has to be focused in that direction. So the turmoil was there, and I heard the heart, and I prayed. I mean, I didn't pray on the spot, but I prayed about it later, and then it actually changed what I thought I was going to talk about in this little message, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, but it was also related that my enthusiasm for the things of God is contagious, or at least desirable. So I didn't have anything to say at the moment, but I looked up a quote, or I heard a quote, and then I looked it up. It's by Émile Zola, and it says that when truth is buried underground, it grows, it chokes, and it gathers power to the point that when it bursts forth, it explodes everything. So when you put the truth of God in your heart, when you know that the same God who framed the universe, who allows an eagle to fly majestically, or fuels the power behind a lava flow, that same God created you, revels in your life and in your living, desires more than anything to communicate with you, that will get you excited. That will be an explosion that may or may not be contagious to everybody, but sooner or later you're going to encounter somebody that needs to know that they are loved unconditionally, that there's nothing that they could do to make God love them more or love them less, that we can rest in who we are in God. That is so amazing. Now, if I'm able to convey that, I'm thankful. I'm grateful. That is for your consideration. If this message, if this rather lengthy message hasn't been a blessing to you in any way, please share it with a friend. There's a YouTube page under Christopher Lunsford. Stop by, like it, subscribe, whatever people do with these videos. Do that. All right. We love you. Grace and peace. Bye-bye.